Realme 3 will have like Google. If I'm going to buy my new device, I'm going to buy 3 Pro. So 48 megapixel is more of a...
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Mr. Phonecast. Yes, as you can see right now, we have a wonderful set of people out here.
Yes.
And we're going to be discussing everything Realme today. And for that, we have the CEO, Mr. Madhav Sheth. Thank you so much for gracing us.
Everybody already knows him. Madhav is popular on Twitter.
Yes.
So he's already someone that needs no introduction here.
That's right.
And Nidhi is the product manager for Realme. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here on the launch of the Mr. Phone podcast.
Yes.
The Mr. Phonecast.
Mr. Phonecast. So that's it. We'll start off with this video. I'm Ashraf from Mr. Phone.
I'm Srihari from Mr. Phone.
By the way, I'm Madhav. Like what you said, everyone knows me. I'm CEO and I'm heading Realme in India.
Awesome.
First of all, congratulations for your first podcast episode. And first of all, we are honored that you're calling us for the first episode for the podcast.
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. The honor is ours.
And I'm Nidhi from Realme India.
But we made her do it. Before we begin the podcast, Madhav, can you ask them to subscribe to the channel if they haven't?
Subscribe to the Realme channel.
and the Mr. Phone channel along with it. She's good at marketing.
So we'll start off with the first set of questions. Of course, we have a lot of things to ask about the Realme 3.
Yes.
But before that, we want to understand what is Realme going to do in 2019 after that phenomenal success that you have had with your brand in 2018 and the kind of love and support that you have received from your customers.
Yeah.
So I think it's all because of love and support, and I think we have the most honest approach towards the market,
Right.
more user-friendly approach towards the market, and I think this is what has been very well appreciated by the users
Correct.
across India.
Yes.
And I think that's the reason, I would say
2018
Realme
was great for you.
Yeah, and
And
2019 is
19.
going to be like, we started with being a most disruptive brand of the year. 2019, we are pretty confident, not pretty, but I would say 100% confident, they will be bringing a lot of disruptions in this market.
Again,
For sure.
And in 2018, what do you think was the reason that people picked a Realme phone over any other phone in the market?
I think people need choices. People
Sure.
need a lot of things to compare.
Mm.
People would need, in a similar price segment, another product to compare.
Sure.
When they actually found Realme, I think that's when they understood that we can get a better product also in a
Right.
similar price segment. Then why not to give a try? And Indian youth or Indian millennials are ready to do experiments and go for the new products.
That's right.
And I think that's what they appreciated.
So the one commendable thing is that with brands launching phones this quickly, the brands are not able to keep up with what people need. Like Poco is already being asked to get more phones. How did you supersede people's expectation and get more phones than they expected in a year? You don't have a very big team and you achieved this much. How was that possible?
Yeah, like what you rightly said, we are a very small team. And maybe smaller than your teams as well. But I would say what we look into India market, we cannot categorize youth into one segment. We categorize youth in the different segments. Like some people are looking for all high-tech specs with a budget phone. Some people are looking at flagship level phones with a pocket-friendly prices.
Yes.
Some people are looking for cameras. And some people are looking for an entry-level phones.
Right.
So we have got 4 series. Starting with C series, which is an entry-level budget king. Then we have Realme number series, which goes with Realme 1, 2, and now 3,
Right.
which we are supposed to launch
Yes.
very
Yeah.
soon. Now everybody knows about it. Then we have got U series, which is more on the photography side.
Yes.
Right.
And then we have Pro series, which is a flagship level device for the youth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we know what youth wants, and that is what we are trying to target the youths in a different segments. So when we say we are based out of millennials, we understand them very well. We try to target the devices accordingly what they want. And that's what our devices is going to be. We are a product-based company, we are a product-centric company, and we always remain the same.
Okay.
All right. So with one of the things that happened last year with the Realme 2 and the Realme 2 Pro is that there was an issue with the branding. When you launched the Realme 1, people expected the Realme 2 to be a similar device, similar level of device. But then there was there was a change. There was
because
this,
they expected to get a successor for the Snapdragon for the Helio P60.
Yes.
They got a Snapdragon 450 and they were slightly disappointed. disappointed.
But we actually, it was of course our job as reviewers to sort of mention that and put it out there that there is a pro variant that is going to come out. So how are you going to do that this year? There is of course a Realme 3 coming. Is that the same pattern?
I'll go back to your question first. Realme 1, Realme 2 wasn't the successor for Realme 1 first of all.
Yes.
Right? Realme 2 was a mid-ranger, all-rounder phone.
Mm-hmm.
And Realme 1 was for all the techie phones. Right? When we were launching Realme 1, all the YouTubers or maybe all the techie guys said that this is the device you should not have launched because it does not have a fingerprint. It was starting with a Helios P60 processor, which was not popular, right? So we wanted to give a device to a user which gives the utmost performance with an AI optimization. No doubt AI has been over abused by the industry, but AI optimization was the most important thing because people or users can only understand in camera.
Right.
We brought it that you can use AI for many other usages for yourself. Maybe in AI boards, maybe for your tracking of shipments, maybe for your battery optimization, like our 3400 mAh battery can be optimized to more than 4000 with a software optimization.
Right.
So what we always believe in, not to give us specs on the paper,
Right.
give something which is inside the
Tangible.
phone and with the best of the software optimization. So it's a combination of hardware and software, H and S we always say. So we always build our product with H and S. This is hardware and software combination, and we also say it is heart and soul, H and S. So that's our heart and soul inside the product, which is hardware and software combination. You cannot have a beautiful specs on the paper and just promote that particular thing. You need to have a proper backup of software optimization. Now coming back to your question, that we launched 4 devices, how did we manage that? As I said, we have got millennials which were divided into 4 categories, what we did, as per our understanding. But what we have done is we have managed to give them updates on a regular basis.
Yes.
We have all maybe a security patch updates, or maybe we are looking at any of the things what the youth wants. Maybe it won't be right swipe, or maybe whatever the things ColorOS didn't had, we are trying to brought them in this particular thing with the regular updates, and we are constantly doing it, we are constantly improving it.
Right.
Yes.
That's what we are doing.
Nidhi, do you want to add to that? Like he was talking about camera updates and even product level updates. Do you have anything to add to that? And say how does as a product manager, what is your role at Realme and what do you do exactly over there?
So one thing that our company has always done is take all the feedback from you guys, the reviewers, as well as majorly our users.
Okay.
So we keep on tracking that at a regular level, whatever our users want, whether it's in the OS part, whether it's in the camera part. And we try to get those functions wherever possible and give them whatever they want.
So one of the things that we've noticed with Realme phones, at least that we've been testing them out over and over again, is that the camera performance keeps improving over a period of time.
At a much faster rate than anyone in this
Yes.
industry, because other
So
brands have taken
even
a long
without
time.
upgrading, sometimes even upgrading the sensors, you sort of bring out that performance. Is there so one of the things that we wanted to understand is there a proper level of effort going into that and saying, okay, fine, let's tune it according to what the user wants?
Yes, so there is actually a team that is devoted just for camera testing.
This is all based out of
Okay,
India.
right, and sorry?
This is all based out of India, you're saying?
Not entirely,
Alright.
but for all the testing and the final things and
Like finishing up
final
the-
finishing up and finalizing any camera performance, it is always finished in India.
Alright.
Because we have a long testing, we call our users, we
Yes.
take feedbacks from our own employees, make them test the camera, and eventually come up with, and we compare it with a lot of different phones. Some phones that are much better in terms of performance in comparison to us, not just the same level,
Yes.
so as to improve the software.
Alright.
Okay, so yes, you won't look like you.
We have
want
a
to add
team of
something.
40 people
Alright.
who are just working on cameras.
Wow.
So that's specifically, that's according to the Indian taste in users. Because basically I think a lot of camera effects in India, it was like, I will give you one particular comment which which was very close to me when we started working on research on cameras, that kali bhais buri ho gayi.
So for the audience that doesn't know Hindi,
You can frame that.
So these are the type of the comments for the users
Alright.
were not giving for our brand, but there were certain feedbacks like this. So it was like more of the exposure side. So we started working on the Indian tonality, Indian skin tones, what exactly user
That's
wants.
important.
And these are the 40 people who are looking after this particular thing on day in, day out.
Right.
And the camera going forward, starting with Realme 3, you will see major developments coming into it.
Wonderful. We are waiting for.
Eagerly waiting, everyone, like online. And
Obviously, the Realme 3 questions are also coming, Madhav.
Yes.
But before that, we also have one very
Yes.
important question.
One question that I have is something that involves sales and offline sales.
Sure.
So, as the new policy came, you had to shift some of your sales to offline, right? How did that go for someone who's sold online for the time that you've existed?
All right. So I'll answer this question in a more way which people have to understand.
Yes.
First of all, our offline was a strategy which we were already planning it.
Okay.
It wasn't because of the FDI policy.
Oh, great.
Offline, something people want to touch and feel. There are a lot of users and millionaires who wants to have a touch and feel of the product before they buy this product. So this is because of that we selected few real partners in the market who have a similar mindshare with us, like who wants to be focused on the users. So we are not going to every single outlet and selling Realme phones. We are selecting a few of the best outlets who can promote this particular devices, give the experience of the devices, and then the users can then compare and then buy.
True.
That was the reason behind going to offline. So it was never because of the FDI pressure.
Okay.
Now coming back to the FDI policy, I think the users have to understand very clearly the FDI policy is a very nice policy, but it was not related to the brand.
Okay.
It was more related to the sellers.
Okay.
So
okay.
sellers on any there are two policies. One is the sellers on any portal, which may be any big portal, cannot be having more than 25% of the entire sale. Secondly, none of the portals like Flipkart or Amazon can have shareholding in the seller company.
Okay.
Yes,
So
true.
these are the two major things which
True.
government changed, and I think it is a very good initiative by
Yes.
the government, which has given the way to other sellers to come and sell on the portal.
True. That's
So basically, it wasn't anything related to the brand.
okay.
It was
Related
more
to
of a
sellers.
related to the sellers and the monopolized, which were going through the few limited sellers.
Okay.
So I
So
think
this is-
that
this-
monopoly
so
has
for-
been
for-
broken and has been gone to the major more sellers, more and
So
more
that
sellers.
also means that it doesn't affect your accessory sales and
It doesn't affect any
on
of our
the-
sales.
on the Realme website.
See, as I said, I think government or anyone would think the users benefits, like what we are also thinking.
Yes, true.
Users cannot be affected with any of the policies. It has to be in a way that basically this policy was implemented because there should not be monopolized anything. There should not be centralized to any one particular seller.
Right.
So I think this has done a good to a lot of sellers, that a lot of sellers can now come in. Small sellers can come and sell on Flipkart or Amazon or any other websites, and they can also be on at par with other bigger sellers at the same time.
This is cutting off the monopoly, basically.
Sort of, yes.
Sort of, yes. So that's actually a good thing.
Just one more question that I had about offline. So when you are selling offline,
Yeah.
there is a price that comes with the distribution costs and
Yeah.
everything.
Ah, yes.
So how do you balance that out? Do people will be the price be affected for people who buy offline
See,
in some way?
I'll tell you one thing very clearly. We
Yes.
are a user-centric company, and users are our first priority. So anything which makes us unfriendly to your users, we wouldn't be going forward for it.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't send my distributors or my dealers to Bangkok or Hong Kong on the cost of the user. Right. So
Yes.
I cannot give promoters selling and falsifying wrong things to the customers who are coming on the shop.
Yes.
The customers today are really educated. They know what they want.
Yeah.
They will do the research and then they will come to the store and buy.
Yes.
And they are extremely smart. And that's the reason I think we are also targeting that particular segment of customers.
Yes.
I think this is always a challenge.
It is.
It is always a challenge between an online and offline companies. But yes, we are mainly online companies. Our major intent to come to offline was touch and feel.
Touch and feel.
And we are only working with the partners who can understand our concept very clearly.
So are you going to be putting up only kiosks, or are you actually also going to be selling offline as well.
I think we are already in offline in more than 35 cities.
Alright.
With more than 3,000 or 4,000 stores already present
Wow.
with us.
That's great.
And one of the few of the major LFRs also joining us, which are large format retailers also joining us.
Great.
So the people who normally believe,
Mm-hmm.
they will definitely join us.
Right.
People who believe that you have to be user centric, not the margin centric, they'll definitely join us.
All right.
Wow, and that's a good news for all the people who are out there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because a lot of them are not buying phones, the Realme phones for themselves. Maybe my parents want a
Exactly.
phone, and they wouldn't trust something that's coming from online for some reason.
Exactly.
They want to actually go and buy a phone from the
See,
shop.
when I say my users are my brand ambassadors, it really means because we have seen more than I have personally interacted more than 100 users
Right.
in over a period of 6 and 7 months. They have bought Realme for all their family. Maybe starting from even going up to 2 Pro.
That's
We have
interesting.
found users, maybe some for grandmothers, some for mothers, or some for girlfriends, or some for themselves, or some for wife. But yes, they've always bought it and they have loved the product. And I think by the time we've been rated one of the best quality product,
All right.
I think very soon we'll be getting that particular news also.
Okay.
But we'll be rated one of the best quality product in this
That's
particular.
great.
That is
Sounds
some
great.
awesome news.
One of the things that has become really popular of late is two sensors that came out in the market recently: the Sony IMX586 and the Samsung GM1. Both 48 megapixel sensors. We've seen that on a couple of expensive phones, a lot of expensive phones actually, which is the View 20 and the Vivo V15 Pro, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
both of them use different sensors.
Differences, and the and 48 megapixel seems to be like the big buzzword now in the industry.
Everybody just wants 48 megapixels on their phones for some reason.
Yeah, but what does Realme have any take on 48 megapixel cameras?
So 48 megapixel is more of a, I believe, is a marketing concept
Alright.
with some of them. And with few of them, I would always believe that we have to be true to our users by saying that it is a 12 megapixel GM1 sensor
Okay.
optimized to 48 megapixel through a software optimization.
Great.
So we at Realme, like what I previously said, we always believe in hardware and software optimization to the maximum usage. So it's not only about giving specs on the paper, like what I said, is giving you the proper optimized camera with the proper software optimized usage according to what the user wants. Then I think it is a much better way of giving the user the real requirements. Like say for example, even if any of our phone having a 16 megapixel camera,
Alright.
but it will outperform a 48 megapixel camera
Right.
because it's actually a 12 megapixel optimized to 48 megapixel.
It's effectively 12 megapixels.
Effectively 12
when the
megapixel.
pixel binning happens on a 48 megapixel
Exactly.
sensor,
So
it
maybe
becomes
you can
12.
educate your users.
No,
more
we
better.
do. We are
always
actually
do.
we always try to go in depth into all of this, and this is something that has been with all Realme phones. It's not the specs that these guys have been focusing on. Truly, it's the pictures that come out, and we have actually seen.
We've seen that the
we've done a
pictures-
lot of camera comparisons with Realme.
Yes.
We have done a lot of comparisons for Realme and with Realme, and we've seen how the camera comparisons have worked,
Worked
how
out,
the
yeah.
pictures come out.
Like if you just give an example of Realme 2 Pro, which is 16 megapixel with Sony IMX598 sensor.
Yes.
Yes.
It's an amazing output camera.
Right.
I've always feel, and I have personally used it.
Yes.
I have given an amazing output always.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think all the users, even on Twitter, anyway, they have always been happy
With
it.
the performance.
I understand the user wants more from us. The expectations are high from us.
So that's a good thing.
It's always a good thing.
It's
for
always a
us,
good
yeah.
thing. All right. So now coming to the horse, the elephant in the room,
Yes.
the Realme 3. What
Okay.
can you
Thought were
dive?
talking about it.
All right, no, I wasn't. Well, anyway, so coming back to the Realme 3, what's this device going to be like? Is it like you said, it's not, like the Realme 2 was not a success to the Realme 1. Is
Yeah.
it going to be the same way for the Realme 3?
For Realme 3, let me clear, this is an upgrade for Realme 2.
All right.
So it is not in the four franchises or four families what we have,
Yes.
which is C, Realme series, and
C,
U and Pro.
Pro.
This is an upgrade from Realme 2 to Realme 3.
All right.
This is in real terms it is an upgrade in a lot of ways, and like a lot of your users know that P60 was one of the most appreciated chipset, and then when we launched it,
Yes.
we heard users in Realme 2, but I would like to say Realme 2 is one of the highest selling model in our portfolio. It has sold more than 2 million devices.
That's
Is
it.
it?
So yeah,
Wow.
so
That's exactly.
whatever shortcomings were there in Realme 2, what we felt, we have brought in with Realme 3 with more better offerings for the users.
Right.
we have made sure that the smallest of the points have been covered. Maybe Nidhi will take you the smallest of the points, but yes, we have tried and covered all the points whatever user wants in a device.
Right.
It means it's going to be on budget level, entry level budget king.
Entry level budget king.
Yeah.
That's what the Realme 3 is going to be.
Yeah.
So Nidhi, can you add to that, please, as to what you would like to say about Realme 3 and what has been the product level improvements to the phone?
So right now, what I can tell you is that yes, we have always been following the concept of the right combination of power and style. Right.
Yes.
So with power, you already know. I think it's been out that we will be coming up with MediaTek Helio P70, which is a very powerful chipset in its range. And with style also, we have worked very, very hard because in Realme 2, people really loved the diamond design and it became very, very popular. So for this we have come up with something new and a very interesting and a new design, and hopefully people are going to really like it.
So there's a new design when compared to older Realme phones.
Yes. And okay, one more thing I'll tell you. This is also going to be splash proof.
That's interesting.
So yeah.
That is the first time in a Realme phone that it's going to be splash proof?
I think we are first time promoting it because we are not a
Yes.
marketing company, but all our phones are always
We are
splash-proof.
still learning
Always
what to
splash-proof,
Always been a
market.
splash proof, but yeah, we have never been pro-aggressive on doing
Yes.
All right.
Right.
So this is so Realme 3 is going to be a splash-proof phone. I don't think that is
Yeah.
a commonality in a lot of phones in this
budget phones,
in this
yes.
price range.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yes.
So what do you mean when you say splash-proof? Does it mean that you have a coating on the internal components?
Yeah.
Maybe we hear more on the launch event.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
want to do a mini launch event.
Fair enough.
Okay, another thing I can actually mention about Realme 3
Yes.
is that for the first time in this price segment, there will be a Nightscape mode.
Oh.
So that is.
So
you
what? One of the things that people keep getting confused with the night mode is that nightscape means it's only for landscape shots in night mode.
No.
It's proper night.
Then that's like, let's pause.
It's good low light photography that
Incredible.
everybody wants.
Yes,
Incredible.
let's
So-
pause because you're getting night mode in a budget phone, which is very rare to find.
Yes. I mean that's also become a popular feature for a lot of phones.
Yes,
right?
and people buy phones for just night mode. Pixel.
Because a lot of
became
people
very
go
famous because
out
of
at night, so they like doing photography, and that is something we are trying to focus
Always
on.
our objective were that to bring all the type of features what the user wants
Yes.
User wants.
to the budget level.
So which is probably the reason why you're looking at building that 10 to 15,000 or 10 to 20,000 price range more than getting a flagship phone out. I think that is your strength.
If
as
I can
Realme.
bring a flagship phone 120,000, why do I need to go at 10,000? Why do people consider only a 30,000 rupees phone as a flagship device?
Right.
If I can give you certain things which are similar to the flagship, which are under 20k, then I think I've been much more honest than anything
That's
else.
very well said.
So which one is your flagship phone? Which is the phone that Realme considers now as your flagship phone?
If I'm going to buy my new device, I'm going to buy 3 Pro.
So there could be a 3 Pro. Great, awesome.
So today a lot of young people are buying their phones and buying smartphones in the market, and they're generally geeks. A lot of them.
Quite a few of them actually.
Yes, I was one of them. And
You still are, I'm
still.
guessing.
Okay, so what we geeks do is we root our phones and we want bootloader unlocking. We
You
want
make me
super
feel
user
so
access.
old, Shri.
Yes. So you even Realme didn't allow bootloader unlocking some while ago, and other brands still don't. A lot of them today. Why did you decide to take that route?
Right.
See, like what I have always said, I am still again repeating that we are a user-focused company, right? We want our users to enjoy the maximum of the product. Let them have the maximum juice of the product. So I think that was the reason we took a conscientious call that basically let's give the bootloader unlock. Yeah, we had opened initially partially one, but
Yes.
now we have opened full.
Full.
So we'll be keep on doing on that certain devices.
Okay.
We'll be continuing giving bootloader unlock, camera to API. All the
See,
things.
that is
Will the Realme 3 come
again,
with camera to
5,
API
4,
enabled?
like 4 or 5 things you can frame right away.
But yeah, one thing what we can definitely say that Realme 3 will have different Google Lens out of box.
Oh, okay. So Google
Okay.
Lens out of the box. That is important.
Wow, let's clap to that too. And
So I think with that we shall end this. Or do you have any more questions?
I had one question for Nidhi.
Please, by all means. Before we
I don't know if it's related to Realme 3 or whatever Realme phone is coming, but this is one question that I had that we've talked to a lot of brands in the past. We've engaged with a lot of them, went to a lot of launch events. I've never talked to a female product manager.
No, this is not to stereotype or anything, but actually it is kind of true that there are very few women product managers for smartphones.
Yes.
So it is great that you are actually here and talking to the audience. We are very glad about that. So how does it feel in what can be perceived as a male-dominated space?
To be honest, when I joined this company, I also was a little scared. But I think with the kind of people I worked with, I would really like to thank all of them, and especially Madhav, because they've encouraged me to learn more and more every day. And I think it's a brilliant industry. You can never get bored out of it.
That is true. We never get bored of reviewing phones. So in fact, a lot of people keep asking us, how can you get excited about the same phone coming over and over again? But yeah.
Because there is something or the other new, like it's even if it's just one little thing, and it's such a fast-paced industry. So I think it's brilliant. I have loved working in this space, and hopefully I'm going to grow with it.
That is one thing that is, I think, common between the four of us is the passion for smartphones, the passion for consumer products.
I think Madhav wanted to add something.
It's like this industry is very dynamic, and every day there's something new which is adds up. And we believe that being a female, she can go into micro detailing of what the user wants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Female has got more micro eyes.
Which men are very bad at.
That's true.
So,
attention to detail.
Attention to detail, that's true.
So that detailing, I think a woman can do much better. I think she is doing her job very well.
Wow.
Great.
Clap to that.
Definitely, at least from our end. Also, interestingly, like Realme, we also grew last year very well. So I think our paths are almost on the same parallel lines.
So yes, should we end by taking a selfie on the Realme 3?
Yes.
Always a pleasure.
Let's take a selfie.
Everybody on screen is like watching the video. They're like, "Where's the Realme 3?"
One more?
Yes.
Let's see. Get a good shot.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think this is nice. Yeah, this is nice.
Okay, I'll hold my cup.
Okay.
So you can see the selfie on screen. Unfortunately, you're not able to see the Realme 3 that you will see on March 4th.
March 4th.
Which is the launch date for.
We'll be there as well, of course.
Yes.
So that's it. That's it for the first podcast of Mr. Phonecast. And we're so glad that you're here, Madhav and Nidhi, both of you.
My pleasure as well. Thank you.
I hope you guys had a good time as well.
And they're very busy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your tight schedule because they're preparing for the launch. You can see on their faces they haven't slept. They're just working and working. There is Han behind the camera and Pratik. Even all of the Realme team is just working hard to get the launch done, I'm sure. So all the best for the launch.
All the best.
We'll be there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people will be tuning in
For sure.
to
For
watch
sure.
the launch.
For sure.
And I
That's it
guess
from us.
with that we come to an end of our first Mr. Phonecast. You can find this podcast on all audio platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, you name it. We'll show that all of it on the screen. YouTube, of course, you're watching it on. And you want to say something?
No, it's okay. Let's see you on 4th.
Yes, let's see.
Please, by all means, you can actually see that.
See you guys on 4th. We are launching Realme 3 on 4th.
Realme 3, 4th of March. So let's
End this.
End the Mr. Phonecast episode number 1. Thank you so much, Madhav and Nidhi, for being here. Thanks, Arshad, for being here. Thanks, Sridhari, for being here.
That's it.
And
Bye-bye.
we'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye.